Prasoon, but let's talk about that sort of that creative spark that happened. We were talking about it earlier with the photographer piece, the work that we saw. It was something. Tell me how it was born, because it was not born from a brief.
See, brief for me. After a point, you repeatedly go. I assimilate it. I absorb the brief, and let it sprout in me. Okay. And manifest itself in me. After listening to what we had, and we had a formulaic piece of work, which actually born out of Italy work, which they had shown, which was very before and after, which they logically was correct. Yeah. Everything was correct about it, and I felt there's something amiss. Now, this is what I think is very, very important for a relationship between a client and the creative person. If you think that, okay, fine, I've delivered to this brief, but for me, that's not enough. Have we been able to strike a chord? It's not my job to please him or his ilk. It is for me to strike a chord with the consumer. And I felt, yeah, saying everything, but probably something is amiss. So there is a filmmaker friend of ours, mine, Dadu, Abhijit Chaudhary. He was shooting something else, and I requested him, can you put up a set, and I will support it from my side. I want to gift something to Perfetti, show them something, because to believe that where we are trying to go, sometimes you need leap of faith, but also need imagination is not enough. You want to see something in flesh and blood. Yeah. So we shot this photographer, where in a day's time we finished it. And that the photographer's assistant is a bulb, which whenever he laughs, if that's my laughter, you'll hear that. It is a bizarre laughter it gives, and then the flash will come. So that's the first time. And when I showed it to them, I don't think anybody else, they would have been indulgent and said, very nice, seems like very passionate person here. But it was not enough. They really tested it, and they went ahead with it and showed it to the world, and that did magic. The faith did the magic. It connected, and it opened doors for future. So then next time when I went to Perfetti team, and Samir was there, and presented the story of a man who is employed as a bulb in a chandelier in a king's palace. How bizarre is that? Yeah. And the questions were not, are you serious? The question is, must be serious. And that's what resulted into the palace commercial, where you saw all his friends are different bulbs. One in the swimming pool, one is in a badminton court, one in a wedding light. So that world came to life. And I'm so happy that it resonated with the whole world.
It still does.
It still does. And then came many things which we did in between. We launched one with elephant teeth lighting up called Happydent Wave. Yeah. Then we did a socially, if you want me to come to that, or we can come later, how responsibility and purpose got introduced in this brand, which you will see now, and which is a very difficult and tight rope to walk on, I would say.
Because it's tricky. You don't want to get preachy, especially with a brand like this and a product like this. But before we get into the next phase, I want to just get Nikhil's view also on that transition that happened from the functional to the fantastical. Yeah. Because I think that switch in the brand's journey mattered a lot. So give me your view from where you were at that point in time, and what was the mood like? Because as much as I like knowing what viewers think about an ad, I also want to know what the stakeholders think about when that commercial, for instance, was first shown to the teams, to stakeholders. What was it like?
Yeah, so I mean, the tide of the brand changed when the photographer commercial was aired, right? And we were really struggling to sell the brand. And then as soon as the photographer commercial came, brand sales started going up. And as we like to say in our industry, we're out of capacity. So every time we aired the commercial, it was fabulous to hear. And then, it was a point in time when we were ready to take the next step, right? And I was a brand manager, I remember, And we saw that film incidentally in a studio because Prasoon had made it up, and we were completely unaware. I knew of the storyboard, but we had not gone for the shoot or anything. It was an 84-second commercial. We watched it and we watched it and we rewatched it like 5 times. We just took it all in, and we all knew, everybody in that room knew we were in the presence of something very, very good. The music was fabulous. The way it came together, the climax, the way he comes down. So, yeah, I mean, I still remember anecdotally, it was 84 seconds, and Sameer was asking Prasoon, how are we going to run this commercial? It's going to be how? And we ultimately had this agreement that we'll run it for 2 weeks, and we'll run some 80 spots at the time, and that's all it needed. We ran it for 2 weeks. We ran it for 2 weeks, and we didn't run it for 6 months after that. Just that commercial was such a talk value, and did fabulously for the brand. So we're obviously, we were on a high, and we got this commercial, and it just exploded the brand for us. And it was nice for Perfetti to be in that conversation because before that, we were not really known for the company name. We were known for our brand name. We then, I think, Perfetti Van Melle, because of the also started getting a little bit of traction.
Absolutely true.